One of my favorite one-wheel activities is the group ride. And what's so great about them? First is the obvious. Getting outside and connecting with others during this pandemic is so good for your mental health. Working from home has had me spending so much time in front of my computer that I treasure the opportunity to get outside. It's been an incredible mental reset. You get to meet people who love the one wheel just like you. You'll learn from them and you'll explore parts of your city that you otherwise wouldn't. And at the end of the day, sharing the stoke is way more fun than always riding solo. But the controversial question of the day, is the one-wheel pint enough if you're getting into group rides? Recently, the DMV group rides have gotten more challenging for the board. We did the trifecta ride where we hit DC, Maryland, and Virginia, the whole DMV in a single ride. That was more than 27 miles worth of riding on this ride. And then this weekend, we did a 23,000 mile celebration for Javier Stark's The One Wheel Wing. And on that ride, there were some really heavy uphill sections. We rode to the highest point of the city and then cruised right back downhill, which was so fun, but the uphill section was definitely really hard on the battery. So when it comes to the pint, there's this thing called range anxiety that's a really real concern. The Pint is advertised at 6 to 8 miles of range, and we've been riding on these super long rides during the winter months where the cold is also a factor in reducing the battery. And the last thing you want to do in the cold is spend a lot of time charging instead of riding. I remember my very first group ride with the DMV Onewheel Riders. I actually did run out of battery for my one-wheel pint, and I had to take the walk of shame. What's the walk of shame, you might ask? That's when you have to carry your board instead of having your board carry you. And it's no fun having to find a charger that might be miles away and you're walking with your board. It's really heavy, even the pint. So walk of shame, I would not wish for anyone. In addition to that, the top speed comes up when you're riding a pint and the rest of the riders are on XRs. The cruising speed for an XR is at the top end of the range for the pint. So you'll find yourself riding on pushback just to catch up with the XR riders. Also, if you happen to take a wrong turn, it's nice to have a higher top speed so that you can catch up with the group. The DMV Onewheel Riders will typically wait up for you, but it can be stressful when you're trying to catch up with the group and you get caught at a light. Now, I talked about the disadvantages of owning a one-wheel pint and taking them onto group rides, but I also connected with two of the best pint riders in the DMV, Khalil and Pearl, and they're going to defend their decision to buy a one-wheel pint. Let me turn the mic over to them.
The pint is really awesome if you get the extra battery. You can get a pint for $900, get a battery for $200, Sony Wheels kit for $100. That's $1,200, and you have a pint that can go further than a stock XR. So why would you ever get an XR? Like, the pint is just so much better. Add to that, it has beautiful torque. I'm talking about hills, like the hillest of the hills, the illest of the ill hills. Yeah. This right here is what you call an extra range battery, all right? This is a 5 amp hour battery. You add this to the pint, and now you have enough range to beat any XR, any standard XR, right? You can get about maybe 24 miles range when you add this battery to your stock pint. So there's really no reason to get an XR at this point. This is also cheaper. Like I said, $1,200 instead of paying roughly $2,000 for an XR. Better torque, better mobility. It's just a nicer ride. It's more portable. Like, everything about the pint is better. It even looks better. Like, look at, okay, see here. This is an XR. You wanna show it? Look at this. This is a brand new, absolute piece of garbage.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
All right, and this right here is a used beauty. It's so beautiful. Her name is Beautiful. 24.8 miles per hour is my top speed. Cruising speed during group rides, I'd say, is around 17 miles per hour. I don't think the battery makes a big difference on the torque. It's roughly the same. The only difference really is the range. And I will also just caveat that. I did say that I could get 24 miles range, but if you're hitting that top speed, 17 miles per hour plus the whole ride, it's gonna be more around 18 miles instead of 24 miles.
Riding that fast on a pint, is that why you have all this gear on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've fallen so many times. I did fall a couple of times, got a couple of scars, re-scarred the same scars like 3 times. Yeah.
Do you now respect pushback?
No, I don't respect pushback, but I do respect the board and I respect the actual limit of the board. I think pushback is designed to be kind of like so early that if you don't hit pushback, you're really not at risk of nosediving as long as you don't accelerate too fast. Acceleration is what makes you nosedive, not speed really. Unless you're hitting like 23, then speed will make you nosedive.
Hi, my name is Pearl Sun, last name S-U-N. I do ride a pint with a VNR on group rides. My best buddy is my best friend and it's the bestest thing I can have on the group rides. You can vamp it up with the VNR. I strongly believe that it is really well worth the investment and it makes the group ride even more fun because it is a bit more challenging than riding on the XR. VNR stands for Vamp and Ride, where you can add in more range. It's kind of like an external battery. On a stock pint, it's like normally around 6 to 8 miles, but with the VNR, you can add it up for another 10 to 15 miles. So as myself, I'm a super lightweight person. I am 110 pounds, so on my pint with the VNR, I can go over 20, 25 miles with still leftover battery capacity. Being lightweight is definitely a big advantage, not only to like on the trails or to the roads, but also on steep hills or downhills. I believe that VNR is also a necessary accessory in order to go onto the group rides.
So a stock pint won't cut it for most people?
If you are super lightweighted, I think you can do it, but if you don't want to have that battery anxiety, I think that VNR would be good. This pint, it's called Frankenstein. You can tell that it has gone through so many scars, so many battles, but each of these scars and battles have a different story to tell, and each of these battles with the story makes you become a stronger and better rider for sure. My top speed at the moment is 17.5 miles per hour. I haven't gotten super fast with it because I don't want to die, but you can go through it past the max speed. And I think once you fully adapt to getting used to the pushback, I think you can easily cruise with the XRs. I'm mostly riding on pushback with the XRs, but sometimes I zoom past the XRs because of my weight. I don't really need to charge as much during today's group ride. I think we went about a good 10, 15 miles and I just checked the battery just now and I still have 73% battery capacity left. And I think I can go a really long range with that. That's why you need a VNR.
So in summary, Pearl mentioned that a lighter rider with the VNR advantage gives you more range than a stock XR. Personally, I won't get the same advantage that Pearl has from being a lighter rider. I weigh more than 2 pearls, and so some of that advantage would get absorbed by my heavier weight. Now, I'll have to concede to Khalil that buying a used pint and then going with an external battery solution is still less expensive than buying a stock XR. But I'll still say I appreciate that the top speed of the XR allows me to cruise at a faster speed than the overall top speed on the pint. I don't personally want to ride on pushback because of the safety reasons, but hey, to each their own. Also, your board will immediately be out of warranty when you make these modifications. Now, for group ride's sake, if you plan to go with a stock XR or a stock pint, I would absolutely recommend buying a hypercharger or an ultracharger respectively, because you definitely want to spend less time charging and more time riding. You're literally buying time when you buy those products. And at the end of the day, you can only do so much meditating while you're waiting for your board to charge. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am FollowDon. There's way more Onewheel content on my channel. Do check it out. Consider subscribing. Love y'all. Peace.
212, hello and welcome to Group Ride of the Century. We're here down at the magnificent MGM.